All right, lean in for a second. I'm about to let you in on a secret that car dealerships really don't want you to know. You see that fancy leather seat you paid a couple of extra grand for? Yeah, that one. It might just be the very reason your back is screaming at you after a long drive. We're going to pull back the curtain and find out what actually makes a car seat great. And here's a hint, it has almost nothing to do with what it's covered in.
You know this feeling, right? It's that moment after a long drive, maybe it was only an hour or two, you open the car door and you don't just stand up. Oh no. You do that thing where you grab the door frame, maybe the steering wheel, and you kind of have to pull yourself out. Your back groans, your knees crack, you feel like the Tin Man before you found the oil can. I'm here to tell you that's not normal, and it is not your fault. I mean, think about it. It's just bizarre, isn't it? You drop 50, 60, maybe even 100 grand on a brand new car, expecting this cloud-like comfort. And yet, that cheap gaming chair your kid has feels 100 times better after an hour. How on earth is that possible? Well, today we're putting on our detective hats. We're going to solve this mystery and figure out what is really going on. So, listen, the problem isn't your back giving out on you, and it's not just a string of bad luck. The real enemy is hiding in plain sight, deep inside the car seat itself. We're talking about design secrets and engineering tricks that you will never see mentioned in a glossy brochure. So let's peel back that fancy cover and see what's really happening underneath.
Get this. A modern, high-end car seat isn't just a cushion slapped on a metal frame. It's an incredible piece of engineering with over 300 different parts. You gotta stop thinking of it like a chair and start thinking of it like a high-tech exoskeleton, or maybe a custom-fit running shoe for your entire body. Its job is to hold you, support you perfectly for hours on end, and this is the big one, to protect you when things go wrong.
Okay, time for secret number one. And trust me, this is the big one. It's the single most important factor that controls how a seat feels, how it performs, and how safe it is. And I guarantee you will never, ever hear a car salesman even whisper its name. It's called the H point. Now I know, that sounds super technical, but think of it as the soul of the car seat. It's the one single coordinate that represents the exact location of your hip joint. And from that one tiny point, everything else is decided. Your view of the road, your reach to the pedals, your angle to the steering wheel, even where the airbag is going to hit you in a crash. If a car maker gets the H point wrong, then the entire car is wrong for you, period.
And if you think I'm exaggerating, let me tell you a little horror story. There was this new EV company, right? They designed these beautiful seats, but they got the H point wrong. It was just a little too high. And the results? Taller drivers, even with the seats slammed all the way down, had their heads literally scraping the roof. Can you imagine? That's not just uncomfortable, it's a death trap and a rollover. They had to recall thousands of cars, a massive, multi-million-dollar mistake, all because of one little invisible dot on a blueprint.
So, what does a bad H point actually mean for you, the driver? Well, it's not just about feeling a little off. It means you're going to feel that deep, bone-weary fatigue 2 or 3 hours earlier on a road trip. And get this, in a rear-end collision, your risk of a serious injury skyrockets by as much as 60%. This isn't a small thing. Getting this one point wrong makes the car more tiring and a whole lot less safe. All right, secret number 2. We're diving deep inside the cushion now. It's time to bust one of the biggest myths in the entire car industry, the idea that softer is always better. Let's talk about the guts of the seat. Let's talk about the foam.
You know what I'm talking about. You go to the dealership, you sit in a car, and your brain immediately falls for the sofa trop. It's all soft and plush, you sink right in, and for the first 5 minutes, it feels like heaven. But what's actually happening is your pelvis is tilting backward, putting your spine in this awful C-shaped curve. The Pro's choice, on the other hand, it might feel a little firm at first, but what it's doing is holding you up. It's keeping your posture right. One feels good for 5 minutes and causes pain for 5 hours. The other feels good for 5 hours. It's that simple. So how do they do it? Well, a great car seat is built like a fancy layer cake. There's a secret recipe. On top, you've got the welcome mat. That's a nice, thin, soft layer that gives you that initial, this is comfy feeling. But right underneath that, you've got the workhorse. This is the important part, a much denser, supportive foam that actually does the heavy lifting, holding you up. And way down at the bottom, there's a safety net, a super firm layer designed to stop you from bottoming out when you hit a nasty pothole. And this isn't just a feeling. The numbers back it up. A cheap, budget seat? They're using low-density foam, maybe 35 to 45 kilograms per cubic meter. It's soft and cheap, sure, but it wears out fast.
But a real luxury seat, we're talking high-density stuff, over 60 kilograms per cubic meter. It costs a lot more to make and feels a bit firmer, but it's going to support you properly for years. That density, that's the invisible difference you start to feel around hour 3 of a long drive.
Okay, comfort is one thing. That's super important. But now we need to talk about the part of the seat that could literally save your life. We're talking about the hidden skeleton inside. Look at this number, 20. 20 times your own body weight. That is the amount of force your seat frame has to withstand in a crash without buckling. Just let that sink in for a second. If you weigh 200 pounds, that's 4,000 pounds of force. This isn't just some flimsy frame. It is a high-strength steel skeleton, and it is every bit as important as your airbags or your seatbelt.
Now here is the single most important safety check you can do in your car right now. It's the headrest. Please, please remember, it is not a pillow. It is not there for you to lean your head back and relax. It is an anti-whiplash device designed to save your neck. And here's the golden rule. The middle of the headrest should line up with the top of your ears. That's it. Get that one thing right, and you have just massively reduced your risk of a horrible injury. So, we've talked comfort, we've talked safety, but what about the cost? What are you actually paying for with all this hidden tech? It's time to talk about the price of a button and expose what's really going on with those optional packages. Okay, check this out because this breakdown is wild. The fancy leather you see and touch, yeah, that's a big chunk, about 30% of the cost. But look at the hidden stuff. That life-saving steel frame, that's a quarter of the price right there. And all those little motors for the power adjustments, the heating, the ventilation, that's another 25%. So think about it. Half the cost of a really good seat is in the engineering that you feel, not the material that you see. So let's trace the money trail here really quick. To actually build one of these advanced seats with all the good foam and the strong frame, it costs the company that makes the seat about 1,500 yuan.
Okay, step 2. The car manufacturer, the big brand name, buys that finished seat from the supplier. And their price? Well, it just about doubles to around 3,000 yuan.
And now, for the grand finale. The price that you pay for that very same seat, once it's bundled into a premium comfort and tech package, you're often looking at 10,000 yuan. That is a huge markup. It just goes to show you're not really just paying for a seat, you're paying for the whole package deal. All right, we have pulled back the curtain, we have looked at the numbers, now let's turn all of this knowledge into power. I'm going to give you a super simple cheat sheet you can take with you the next time you walk into a dealership. Okay, just 3 simple rules to remember to avoid getting ripped off. Rule number 1, trust your butt, not the brochure. I'm serious. You have to sit in that seat for at least 20 minutes. If you don't feel real support in your lower back, just get up and walk away. Rule number 2, support is king, softness is a jester. Ask the salesperson about adjustable lumbar support, and do this. Poke the side bolsters on the seat. They should be firm, not like a marshmallow. And finally, rule number 3, safety first, always. Before you do anything else, adjust that headrest. It's the most important safety feature you have direct control over. So, if you remember nothing else, remember this one mantra: short trips want soft, but long trips need support. And a crash needs grip, not slip. A truly great car seat has nothing to do with the fancy stuff you can see. It's all about the invisible engineering that holds you, supports you, and protects you. The question is, next time you go car shopping, what are you really going to be looking for?